Guys, I love Final Fantasy 15. So, not this past Saturday, but Saturday before that, I finally picked up a copy of Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, I know, I'm really late to the party. Anyway, so I finally got it, and then last Monday, I started playing it, and oh my god, this game is amazing. Pretty much as soon as I started playing, it got its hooks right in me, and I just kept playing. And 65 hours later, I got the Platinum Trophy. So, I don't know if you know, I've brought it up a few times, but not everyone who subscribes to me watches my videos, and not everyone who watches my videos subscribes to me. But I'm not a big Final Fantasy fan. I'm just not a fan of turn-based combat. The only games I can really handle it in is Pokemon, and even then, it's a struggle. So the only Final Fantasy games I've actually played all the way through before 15 was 13 and 13-2. Now I know everyone hates 13 and all that, whatever, but I really enjoyed it. I had a great time with it, and I would go back and play it again, honestly, but I just don't have the time because I did never even play the games that I have now. But so, I was only somewhat intrigued in Final Fantasy 15 back during the PR cycle when it was re-announced as 15 because it used to be Versus 13, and that went away and was scrapped and turned into 15, and I was intrigued because it looked more like an action RPG, like a Kingdom Hearts or so, more like a Western RPG, if you will. And so that intrigued me because I do like the aesthetic and like design or whatever you want to call it of Final Fantasy. I just don't like the combat. And so with 15, the fact that it was more like an action RPG, I was like, oh, this looks interesting. And then by the time it came out, I don't think I even had money because I didn't have a job when it actually came out. But then I just never got around to actually getting to it. I was always planning on it, but I just never got around to it. But now that I have, Final Fantasy 15 has quickly become one of my favorite games of all time. I thought the gameplay, like the actual combat, was actually really fun and smooth. The Warp Strike is awesome. You can, when you pull it off right and you phase through attacks and you dodge and parry and do everything, it's really fun, and it can be really challenging too with some of the boss fights or just tougher enemies. And other than that, I just like the whole aesthetic. The world is beautiful and detailed. Graphically, I've seen better, but I've also seen a lot worse. You know, it's really good. It looks really nice, plays fun and everything that, but also the characters are great. I love the party that you know, Noctis, Ignis, Gladio, and Prompto. Those are, I like them all, and I really like the relationship they had with each other. And mild spoilers, I'm not gonna reveal any story beats or anything, but like stuff that like happens towards the end of the game and at the end of the game hit me hard, especially with one certain character that something that happens to him, and I just kept thinking about it for like a whole day and was like, holy hell, like wow, this sucks. I don't know, I just love the game. Like, it was just fun. I keep playing it, and I went and bought the Royal Pack and the Season Pass like yesterday. I'm not gonna go and play through episodes Gladio, Ignis, and Prompto. Probably won't end up making this video. One thing I am curious about is because I never followed Final Fantasy or anything like that, and I never really cared, but I actually went back and watched the original Final Fantasy Versus 13 trailer and was reading up about it and the whole whatever, I forget exactly what it's called, but it was like something Crystal Universe or something like that, where basically there's these 3 games that were planned for 13. It was Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy Versus 13, and I forget what the other, it was like a mobile game or whatever. But basically what ended up happening was 13 turned into its own trilogy. Versus 13 was ended up canceled and reworked into 15, and then the mobile game was eventually turned into Type 0, and then that was on PSP, and then eventually was remastered on PS4. So basically, at one point, these 3 games are all supposed to be connected, but life got in the way, and now they're not. I think these 2 are still connected in some way, but this is no longer part of that. But I'm curious of what actually remained in 15 from Versus 13 other than Noctis and some of the design behind it. Because in that original trailer that I watched, they showed he still had like the Warp Strike looking thing, and he still had a very similar design, and even had the same music that's played in the opening menu of the game and towards the end of the game as well. So, but I wonder how the story and anything else was affected by the change from Versus 13 to 15. And also I wonder how it changed from when Tetsuya Nomura left the project to be taken over by Hajime Tabata. But those are probably questions that will never be answered, but just something that I'm just curious about. But other than that, like, the game, like everything about the game, the current game as it sits is amazing. I love the gameplay, like I said, I love the characters, I love the story, I love the world, I love the music. The music is so good. The composer is the same composer from the Kingdom Hearts series, and she's also done like not Paper Mario, like the Super Mario RPG and like Mario and Luigi games and some other games that I forget exactly, but she's composed a lot of games, and she did an amazing job with this soundtrack. I forget how to pronounce her name. It's Yoko Shimomura. I'm really bad at pronouncing Japanese names. I love the music in this game so much that I went and downloaded the soundtrack off iTunes. I spent $30, so it was like $27 on that, and it was worth every cent. But yeah, that's basically the whole point of this video, just me expressing my love for this game. That it was a game that was just like, it was on my radar, but I wasn't just like, I need to play this game. Like, it wasn't a day one thing for me. It was a game that I followed a little bit when it was still before it was released, and I remember I thought it was funny that they had this big event to announce the release date, only to then delay the game a month, which I thought that was humorous. But again, it didn't really affect me in the long run because I didn't play the game until a year and a half later. So that's about it for this video. I just love Final Fantasy 15, and it's great, amazing, I love it. And that's all this video really is. So thank you, Square Enix, for releasing this masterpiece, in my opinion. And again, this whole thing is just my opinion. I know some people don't like 15 or are indifferent about it, or they thought it was good, but or whatever. But for me, this game is amazing. And that's all I have to say about that. So if you like this video, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about Final Fantasy 15 in the comments. And yeah, that's about it. So for all you fellow Final Fantasy 15 lovers out there, see you in the next video. Probably won't be about Final Fantasy 15.
No dice, won't budge.
For every lock, there exists a key.
Or like a magical key that can unlock any door, like from the video games.
Or that.